can go ahead and kick off the Symphony New Module Showcase for payment terms today. So thank you everyone for joining us. We really appreciate you taking some time out of your day to join us for this event. We will go ahead and get started now. And to kick us off, we will go through a couple of introductions. I am Shannon Wegner. I'm the head of customer success for spend analytics within Simfoni. It is a pleasure to be here today. I've probably spoken with each of you up to this point. If I haven't, I will definitely be in touch. I look forward to working with you, introducing new and exciting products to you and helping you with your journey in the Simfoni portfolio. We also have Kyle. Kyle, if you'd like to introduce yourself to the team.
Yeah, thank you very much, Shannon. Pleasure to be here. Kyle Muskoff, I'm the VP of Sales. So I've spoken to some of you as well, and look forward to getting to know you better as we continue to grow our business here.
Awesome. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you all for joining us today. We have an exciting and quick presentation for you. Before we get started, let's talk about Simfoni, just quick little updates. Let's talk about kind of what's new with Simfoni, where we landed in 2021, where we're going in 2022. So Kyle, if you kind of want to talk to us about what were the big events last year that were big landmarks for Simfoni and really kind of what capped off the year for us.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely tremendous growth this year. And so part of that was funded by the PeakSpan, which is our Series B investor. Really validates what we're doing here. This is us going to the market and saying, hey, we've had a lot of success and we think there's a lot more to be had. And the market completely agreed. And so we're excited. That investment is going right back into product, into sales and marketing, of course, and then into really supporting our client growth. So if we look at this past year or so, we've had almost 40% client growth. And I think it really speaks volumes to what we're putting out in the product, in the world with respect to our machine learning capability and our analytics and tail spend offerings. And so as part of that, we've actually stood up a customer success team led here by Shannon. If you want to speak for a moment about what we're doing there, Shannon.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm so excited about this customer success program that we are putting together within Simfoni. It's so great for me to get closer to our customers, to learn what they're excited about, how we can better their experience within the Simfoni portfolio, what they love and what they need, and how we can take that to the next level. It's been just a great experience for me thus far. And I love hearing what the customers have to say. And I'm looking forward to what we can do coming up in the future and within the next year. So excited to work with all of you. So Kyle, what else has been happening? We had a big acquisition towards the end of the year. Talk to us a little bit about EC sourcing. Yeah,
absolutely. You probably saw the press release maybe a week and a half ago that announced this. It's so exciting for us. It really extends our footprint from a product side. So EC sourcing is obviously focused on the e-sourcing part. And so we've always been an analytics and tail spend player. And now we're adding a best-in-class e-sourcing, focused on ERFX capability. And so that's very exciting. Not only does it just extend our footprint, but it gives us a larger global reach and more opportunity to really support our clients and give them the best. So we're really excited about that. And you'll be hearing more about that here in the near future.
Yeah, I'm excited about it because I know a lot of times when we go to bid, people are looking for that ERFX capability, and now we can give them that full portfolio.
Yeah, there's more and more desire to have a full suite capability, right? And so this just builds that up for us, and it's becoming fully integrated into our analytics and into our tail spend offerings. And so it's really going to be a nice suite offering for our clients. Yep.
Very cool. Very cool. You talked a little bit about product. What is coming up with product, and where are we spending that PeakSpan money?
Yeah. So of course, payment terms is what we're talking about today. So we're real excited about how that's been released, and we'll get into that detail here in a moment. But what you'll hear about very soon is some of the other modules or opportunity identifiers, as we like to know them. Specifically, the P card and the purchase price variance are two modules that are just getting some major updates, leveraging more of that AI technology to find opportunities. As those of you are probably familiar with the way we think about spend analytics, there's a visual side, right? And that's the dashboards, the core dashboards. But then there's this idea of opportunity identifiers. Where can I move the needle? And sometimes it's about supplier diversity, and sometimes it's about ESG. And then, of course, we have P card, payment terms is getting rolled out, and we have many others. And so always happy to talk to you about the different ways that we're able to take your data and really allow you to find value within that data.
Yeah, it's all about finding those savings, finding better ways to save money and put that money back in the bank for our customers.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so today we're talking about payment terms, the payment terms module. It's one that's been around for a while. We've done some tweaking to it, but what is the goal of this new module? Why would people be interested in this module?
Yeah, great question. Great question. So you're absolutely right. This is actually a module that we had in the very beginning, and had a few clients that are using it. And through their feedback, working with our product team, we really identified a way forward to ensure that everybody can get maximum value from it. So when we think about goals, the first goal is always visibility. So the number one thing we hear is just, I have no visibility into my current payment terms. So maybe finance is requesting this, or maybe this is just an initiative that procurement's taking on its own. And so you'll see in the dashboards, the first one's really focused on that visibility, ensuring that I can see where I have, so typically you have a standard payment term that you're aiming for, and where I have variance from that across suppliers. The second goal that you see here is really this idea of starting to preserve capital, right? So, and you'll see it again on the product itself, but the idea is, if I have suppliers who have multiple payment terms, is there a way for me to start to push the earlier payment terms out and actually free up cash for a longer period of time? And so again, payment terms, we're starting to see this continual merging of procurement and finance, right? They need to work very tightly together. And I think payment terms is one of those pivot points where they really interact quite a bit. And so this one is all about identifying those opportunities where we can preserve capital by pushing out payment terms. And then the third goal is almost the opposite of that. It's about identifying opportunities where we can actually find savings. So those suppliers that you have payment terms with that actually allow for a discount if you pay early, we want to pull those forward. We want to show you what those savings can be, and then you can make an intelligent choice with the finance team about whether you would want to, pursue paying those early. So it's, to your point, Shannon, it's all about, how do we find cost saving opportunities, and how do we compare that to what our other opportunities are in the market? And we'll get into that here in a moment.
Right. What's the best opportunity for the organization, and where do you want to put that money? Awesome. Okay. So that being said, we know what we're talking about. We know we're looking at payment terms. We're going to hop into the module right now. Kyle's going to take us through that and show us what we're looking at and how hopefully your organization can take advantage of this.
Yeah, it's perfect. So as you're pulling this up here, again, this is a module built right into. So if you're someone that has core dashboards, or maybe you're using our opportunity assessment module, this is leveraging the same data, but really starting to extract it and leverage our algorithms in order to find more ways to find value. So again, you'll recognize the dashboard layout. You'll recognize sort of the interactive capability. This is, of course, configurable to anything that is specific to your organization, just like we're able to configure and customize our core dashboards. This is the same way. So just kind of an overview of this dashboard. This is our first dashboard. This is all about visibility. So tell me where I have suppliers that are below my standard payment terms. So in this case, the standard payment terms is marked as 30 days. You can adjust that if it's 60 or 90, whatever your organization's standard payment terms are. And then what we've done is we go into your supplier invoice data and pull out those invoices that are less than that standard payment terms and those that are more than that standard payment terms. Excuse me. And so on the left here, you can see with the pie chart, really starting to identify all the different payment terms that are out there. And so, of course, one of the things we hear a lot is, I just want to consolidate the number of payment terms that we're managing, because the AP team gets, it can be a lot of overhead to manage all of those. And so this gives you the ability to quickly see which payment terms are the most common, which ones are less common, and maybe which ones you don't want to be dealing with at all anymore. The bottom really gives you a view over time of whether you're becoming more compliant with your payment terms or less compliant. And so it gives you, what's above, what's below, and so forth. And then the right really dives into these individual suppliers. And so it's identifying for you what the minimum payment days are and what the maximum payment days are across all the different invoices for a given supplier. So you see, for instance, here, they have some invoices that are net 30, some that are net 60, right? And so you can start to see that there's a discrepancy there and something that you want to dive into. And so again, this is mostly for visibility, so you can understand what your current situation is from a payment term standpoint. So as we look at then the second dashboard that we've labeled as working capital, what this is going to do for you is really identify when there's multiple payment terms for a single supplier, right? And so you see here, Shannon, you have supplier 1451 there. They have some invoices sitting at net zero payment terms, and then some sitting at net 30. And so, and then actually some at net 60 as well. And so the idea here is to start to go supplier by supplier and say, hey, if I have at least one invoice, but probably multiple invoices sitting at a net 60, is there an opportunity for me to take those net 0 and the net 30 and push them into net 60? And if I do that, what sort of savings is available for me, right? Is it worth the squeeze? And so you can see here by selecting supplier 1451, we've actually done the calculation for you to show that if you can take those invoices and push them into the net 60 range, then you can save $22,000. Now, of course, this data is looking backwards, right? It's your current invoices. And so a little bit of this is extrapolation to the future, that the assumption is that you'll get similar looking invoices as you move forward here. The other thing I'll mention up in the top left is that we have this cost of capital. So of course, all of this is based on what you're able to spend your resources on otherwise, right? And so you are able to change that cost of capital. In this zero interest rate world that we live in right now, it's probably quite low, but as inflation and interest rates start to rise, you may want to change that number. And of course, that's something you can work with your CFO on to understand what the right number there would be. But this is unbelievable visibility that you can immediately get ROI back to your organization to say, hey, listen, this supplier alone represents 20, 30K in savings purely by pushing back and aligning all of their net terms into the farthest one that they've already agreed to. So this is really, really cool. And then if we look at the third dashboard, this is on the early payment. So what we've done here is filter this just as suppliers who have early payment terms available. And so again, you can look at this supplier that Shannon's selecting here. It's a 2% discount, right? If paid within 7 days versus your standard 30 days. And so what we've done is calculated the discount that's available to you if you were to take the supplier up on their payment term offer, essentially. And we've calculated that savings in two different ways. So we have gross savings, which is just the raw number. What's 2% of the open invoices associated to that payment term? And then we look at it from a net savings. So again, there's this idea of a cost of capital. What else can I be doing with my cash? And so the net savings takes that into account as you set your cost of capital. You also have, just like in all of our dashboards, you have the ability to filter by country. You can filter by category. So if you're looking for maybe only in North America or only in Europe or whatever the case is that you're trying to look to make those changes, you can do that as well. And so this is really an idea of, hey, we can get just direct savings from our suppliers purely by paying early, if that's something we choose to do. And I think, when we talk to clients, that tends to be one of the big feedbacks that they give us is, I wish I had known. I wish I had known that I could have done this, but I just don't have visibility at a mass level like we're now providing to be able to quickly identify which suppliers I could get the greatest savings on, and then to, bring my finance team or my AP team to the table to help coordinate with that. So these are really the 3 dashboards that we're rolling out in this payment terms module. We're very excited about it. It's all about visibility. It's all about preserving capital, and then it's all about finding cost saving opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. A nice little package. So where we're at right now, I wanted to go through a quick question and answer, see if there's any questions from the audience. A couple came in while Kyle was going through his presentation, so we can go through those, and then I will also open it up if there are any additional questions, if anybody wants to pop those in. First question we have was, what new data is needed in order to leverage this type of tool? And the answer is really the data that you're providing right now. You shouldn't need to provide anything additional. If there is additional data, we can help you identify what that data is and work with your team to provide that through your monthly or quarterly data feeds. But it should be a really easy transition if it is anything additional. So, but I would say that most of you are probably providing all this data already.
Yep, that's right.
How much effort goes into launching something like this? It would be very easy. I would say that we could get something like this up and rolling within 1 to 2 weeks for you, especially if that data is something that's already coming across with your data feeds. And then I love this one. Can I customize the dashboards? Yes, of course you can. Within any of our dashboards, those are definitely customizable. So if there is a special calculation that your team looks at and leverages, we could add that into a dashboard. We could add an additional dashboard. We can take it and build it to fit your needs from a supply chain procurement or a finance team perspective to make sure that you're getting that visibility that you need and want. So hopefully that answers those questions. I didn't have any other questions come across. Kyle, did you want to give anything else on those questions?
No, I just want to, no, that's great. And great questions. I think that's real relevant to what we're talking about here.
Right.
I just want to reiterate on that first one, this is a different view on the data that you already have. And so if you're using our core analytic dashboard, then we're going to be able to whip this up real quick for you and really start to turn around ROI for you very, very quickly. So, so definitely worth taking advantage of.
Yeah, definitely. At that point, we will conclude, and I will be following up with everyone to answer any additional questions and get you rolling with your free trial.
Thank you very much, Shannon.
Yeah, thank you, Kyle. Thanks for joining, everyone. Have a wonderful day.